The radius of the circle is 3 yards. Find the length of the arc intercepted by the central angle, whose measure is 100 degrees. This problem class tells us about degrees. Okay, so we need to recall that degree measure means that the whole circle is divided into 360 parts. Okay, so when we talk of the length of the arc, that is actually referring to part of the circumference. So if the circle has this circumference, we're just taking the measurement of the part of the circumference. In this case, the part of the circumference that is asked is actually the arc that is intercepted by 100 degrees. So most likely, if this is 100 degrees, all right, so the length covered by A to B is actually the length of the arc that we are looking for, okay? So in finding the length of the arc, if you have observed that the length of the arc is just part of the circumference, so we can use the formula in finding the circumference. You can use the formula of the circumference. And what is the formula of the circumference? That is equal to C. The circumference is equal to 2 pi r. This is the formula of the circumference. And because the arc length or the length of the arc is just part of the circumference, so we are just going to multiply this formula of the circumference by the portion of the circumference. And how do we get the portion? Okay, so we are going to multiply it by the part. Okay, part. We're just going to multiply it by the part over whole. Okay, so the circumference and multiply it by the fraction of the whole. Okay, so what is the fraction? All right, so here in this case, we're just going to take to measure or to get the length of the arc when the degree is 100 degrees. Okay, so we're just taking the 100 parts of it out of 360. So you would say the part is 100 and the whole is 360. Okay, and then you will have your r. Your r here in this case is 3. And so I will just change the circumference class because this is already just a fraction of the circumference. It is already an arc length. So I will just change this one to S to represent your arc length. So your S here is 5.24. That is the length of the arc. Okay. So what is important here is to take note, is to understand about the degree. Okay, so the degree here is 100 degrees, meaning that means the circle is divided into 360 parts. Okay, what if we have this problem? So find the length of the arc. Okay, so note that the angle measure is in radians. So this is the angle, and the angle measure here is 3 pi over 4 radians, and this is the radius. So we are asked to find the length of the arc covered by the red line. Okay, so the same thing. So I would say, oh, the arc length is actually taken from the formula of a circumference. It is just a fraction of the circumference. So that would be 2 pi r over part, okay, times part over whole. That's how we get the fraction of it. So the part here is what? 2 pi over 4. So we're just going to write 2 pi over 4. So meaning out of the whole, you are just taking 2 pi over 4. So that would be, 3 pi over 4. So that would be 3 pi over 4. And of course, because this is radian, then the whole would be 2 pi. That's the whole. All right. And what is the radius here? The radius here is 7. So you're just going to change r to 7. And then that is your answer. The arc length is 16.49.